Good day, everyone. Welcome to V-Class TV. This is Teacher Jackie. This week, we will focus on making predictions and drawing conclusions. For that, we have the following learning objectives to tackle this week. Welcome to day 1. Today, I will be presenting some situations that will help you predict and conclude. Let's begin by guessing. What's coming up next? Could it be a picture about a movie? Questions about denotation and connotation? Or a cover of a storybook? Yes, we have a cover of a storybook here, and this is what we are going to do. Read the title and look at the cover of the book. What do you think is in the book? You may tell about the information you can find in the picture. Title, book information, cover dominant color, graphics and images, possible characters, possible settings, and the genre. Now, here's another cover for you. Tell about the information you can find to the class. Yes, for this picture, you might have said that the title of this book is Where Did All the Fireflies Go? There are some names written, but you could not really read because they are too small, but guessed that those were the author and illustrator's name. The dominant color is green. There is a boy and firefly in the picture, the main characters probably. The setting could be in a village near a forest. It must be a fantasy story. The second cover is for the story The White Shoes, written by Grace D. Chong. The dominant color is brown, something orange, and the main character could be a girl. The setting could be at home and it's a reality story. With the cover of a book, you could guess what's inside of it. That is because the cover of the book gives us information of what could be expected inside without telling us the whole story. Now, for the next activity, we are going to have situations instead of a cover. This is what we are going to do. Read the following scenarios. Determine what event is likely to occur next. Explain your answer using textual evidence. Get ready because your teacher may call you randomly. Here's scenario number 1. During a camping trip, Christy and Joel find themselves lost in the forest after straying from the designated trail. Christy, an experienced hiker, reassures Joel that she knows the way back to the campsite. However, as dusk approaches, they realize they have been walking in circles. What event is most likely to occur next? So what did you say? Given this situation, you may say, Christy reluctantly admits that they are lost and suggests finding a clearing to set up camp for the night. And also, Joel, feeling frustrated and anxious, agrees to the plan but secretly worries about their safety in the forest. Scenario number 2. At a board game night, Mary and Ross playfully compete in a game of strategy and skill. As the game progresses, tension builds between them, fueled by playful taunts and strategic moves.
Do you know what board games are? Examples are chess and snake and ladder.
What event is most likely to occur next? With this situation, you might say that Mary, determined to win, devises a risky but clever strategy to outmaneuver Ross and secure victory. You could also say Ross, impressed by Mary's ability, responds with a bold counter move, setting the stage for a thrilling showdown between them. Scenario number 3. During a school field trip to the zoo, Sophia and Liam spot a mischievous monkey swinging from tree to tree in the primate exhibit. The monkey seems to be eyeing the banana snacks in Sophia's backpack, much to her amusement and Liam's concern. What event is most likely to occur next? With this situation, you may say that Sophia and Liam giggle as they watch the monkey's antics, amused by its playful antics and curiosity. And you could also say Sophia offers the monkey a banana snack from her backpack, causing it to rush closer in excitement, much to Liam's surprise and amusement. Scenario number 4. During a craft session, Olivia and Ethan are making friendship bracelets for each other. As they weave colorful threads together, they discuss their favorite colors and designs, sharing stories of friendship and laughter. What event is most likely to occur next? With this situation, you may say that Olivia and Ethan proudly show off their finished friendship bracelets, exchanging them as symbols of their bond. You could also say that they promise to wear them every day as a reminder of their special friendship. Scenario number 5. In a classroom, Lily and Max are looking out the window during English class. They notice dark clouds gathering in the sky, and a few raindrops start to fall. What event is most likely to occur next? Well, with this situation, you may say that Lily and Max excitedly whisper to each other, predicting that it is going to rain soon. And you could also add, they quickly gather their belongings and move away from the windows to avoid getting wet when the rain starts pouring down. That was a good warm up. Now I will be putting on a spelling test. Please get ready with your notebook. I have here jumbled letters with the definition so you have clue of what the word is being asked. On your notebook, write the correct spelling of the jumbled words. Let's check your work. The keywords for this week's lessons are prediction, conclusion, textual evidence, monster, and tale. You may do your own search for these words if you like. Now please take note of the word number 3, textual evidence. It's a proof from a text in order to prove that the information is true and accurate. That is very important when you are making prediction. That is word number 1. Prediction is a statement about what you think will happen in the future. That is actually the gist of what we have just did today. Welcome to day 2. If you are learning from this video, like and subscribe for more. Today we are going to have a story. You will be reading along paragraphs and at some point, you will be asked what will happen next and provide textual evidence. Are you ready?
I have a story to tell. It's from a time I remember so well.
The Loving Monster, a Heartwarming Tale by Mary Ross T. Castañares. One morning, the child woke up from his long sleep because of the hammering and banging on the veranda. He exited the bed, rubbed his eyes, and went downstairs to see where the sounds came from. As he neared the front door, he found his father squatting over a broken lawn mower. The boy was used to seeing things like this. His father was always fixing things. They could be a leaking roof or a broken appliance. He was a man of few words, or maybe he was not just interested. Good morning, father. Despite the noise and the early hour, Baste greeted his father pleasantly. His father gave a fleeting glance up, his look uncommunicative, before returning to his work without saying anything. Baste sighed and went into the kitchen to prepare breakfast. His father entered the room and wiped his hands with a rag. Eat up and get ready for school, his father responded casually. Now I have this question. What event is most likely to occur next? What is your textual evidence for that? The child nodded, used to his father's relaxed approach. He quickly completed his meal and went upstairs to prepare for the day. As he packed his books and backpack, he felt disappointed by his father's lack of interest in him. Despite this overwhelming emotion, Baste went to school. As he entered the classroom, he noticed his teacher carrying a poster. The billboard advertised tryouts for a school play, and they were looking for cast members. Baste's eyes widened with enthusiasm as the teacher described each character in detail. The teacher described a brave and daring hero leading the group on a mission to defend the kingdom from an evil sorcerer. Baste's heart beat with anticipation as he pictured himself as the hero, carrying a sword and confronting danger head on. Now I have a question. What event is most likely to occur next? What is your textual evidence? As the teacher continued to describe the other characters, Basti's mind raced with ideas. There was a wise old wizard, a crafty thief, a mighty warrior, and a caring princess. Each character possessed distinct characteristics, and Baste could not wait to bring them to life on stage. The teacher encouraged students to audition for any role they were interested in, and Baste immediately decided that he wanted to play the monster, the story's central character. He spent the remainder of the day practicing his lines and honing his swordplay, hoping to please the casting directors. Now I have a question for you. What event is most likely to occur next? What is your textual evidence? When audition day arrived, Bastet stood uncomfortably before the casting panel. As he delivered his words with passion and conviction, a thrill of excitement circulated through his veins. Bastet was overjoyed when the casting directors announced that he had been cast as the monster. Decisions were intense and challenging, but Bastet embraced his role with passion and enthusiasm. He worked tirelessly on his performance, immersing himself in the play's atmosphere and bringing his character to life with each line he spoke. However, his delight quickly changed to concern when he realized that the costume required for the play was beyond his family's budget. Feeling discouraged, Bastet confided in his cousin, who encouraged him to discuss his problems with his father. Bastet reluctantly discussed his concerns with his father, expecting rejection or a scolding. What event is most likely to occur next? What is your textual evidence? To his amazement, Basti's father listened intently but said nothing, convincing himself he could never participate in the play, and he went to sleep. That night, he could not believe what he witnessed. A large, dark shadow that resembled a monster working. It was barely a glimpse, yet it sent chills down his spine. "Who are you?" Basti yelled. "What do you want?" Baste shouted and was jolted awake by his father's hand. "Someone was on the veranda last night, father," Basti said, his eyes trying to persuade his father. His father responded indifferently. "Eat up and get ready for school." What event is most likely to occur next, and what is your textual evidence? On the second night, he saw more. The head was huge, with glaring red eyes that seemed to go straight through him. He could not take his gaze away from it, even if his instincts warned him to escape. The following day, Bastet told his friend the story. "That's true. I asked him what he wanted, but he just said—" Bastet began preparing to imitate the beast. "I am the guardian of this land." Bastet talked in a deep, rumbling voice. "I protect it from those who would harm it," Bastet added. "But where is it? Is it at your house right now? Can we see it?" Basti's friend said, still in astonishment. "Ah," Basti sighed and remarked. "I didn't see him when I woke up this morning." "Maybe because it was just a dream," Basti's friend said, laughing at him. Baste was slightly annoyed by his friend since he did not trust his stories, but perhaps he was simply dreaming. What event is most likely to occur next? What is your textual evidence? For the third time he glimpsed its body. It was big and muscular, with sharp claws capable of tearing through anything in its path. He felt a sense of horror sweep over him as he understood how powerful this thing was. But he remembered what it had said about his noble quest. "But why do you appear so frightening? Why do you scare people away?" Baste enthusiastically asked the creature. "Baste, these are not your lines. You are daydreaming again," his teacher observed, patting his shoulder. They were practicing for the play. "No, you're not real. Stop scaring me," Baste murmured to himself before closing his eyes and falling asleep. As time passed, the monster became more prominent in his memory. He understood that he needed to act quickly before it was too late. But while he stood there, watching the monster working in the shadows, he could not help but worry if it was genuinely protecting them or if it would eat them soon. But he knew he could not beat it. What event is most likely to occur next, and what is your textual evidence? He awoke one morning and blinked his eyes several times, attempting to make sense of what he had seen. A creature stood before him. Its sharp teeth glinted in the dawn light, and its claws were dangerous. He screamed, his heart racing in his chest. But then he spotted his father. He was holding the creature with amusement on his face. "What are you doing, father? You scared me half to death!" screamed the child, relief washing over him as he grasped the truth. His father chuckled slightly but did not want to cross his emotions as he placed down the monster costume. His father responded casually, "Eat up and get ready for school." "We will bring your costume for your dress rehearsal." His father smiled and added. Bastet had no idea that the shadow he saw was his father, who was working feverishly on his play costume. Night after night, Bastet's father worked hard, cutting and sewing fabric to bring the monster man to life. 2 weeks before the play, Bastet was astounded to see the costume his father had mightily made for him. With tears in his eyes, Bastet hugged his father warmly, moved by the act of love and sacrifice. Finally, the day of the performance came. As Bastet waited backstage in his homemade outfit, he experienced a wave of confidence and gratitude. What event is most likely to occur next? What is your textual evidence? As the curtains were drawn back, Bastet entered the stage, his eyes wide with astonishment. The set was a lovely forest with shimmering lights and vibrant flowers covering the stage. Bastet took a big breath and started reciting his lines, his voice loud and clear. The story of the loving monster unfolded in front of the audience, telling of friendship and bravery. Bastet's performance was captivating. His movements were graceful and his expressions were convincing. The audience was intrigued and hung on to his every word. The play was a huge success, with laughter, acclaim, and steadfast support from his family and community. Bastet's heart swelled with pride as he played the role of the loving monster, bringing delight to everyone who watched. As a result, the story of the loving monster became a village legend, representing resilience, kindness, and the power of love. Bastet discovered that sometimes the greatest monsters are not those we fear, but those who love us unconditionally and support us through life's difficulties. As the performance ended, Bastet realized he would always have a loving monster leading him through life's ups and downs. And, full of gratitude, Bastet said a silent thank you to his father, the real hero of his narrative.
Let's go where time stands still. Let's go where dreams are real. Let's go where laughter's and tears make the world you call fairy tale.
Welcome to day 3. If you want more of our educational content, follow VClass TV on Facebook and TikTok. Today we will continue our activity with questions from the Loving Monster story. Mind you, this is an oral recitation, a part of your performance task. Please answer in the best way possible. Answer the following question based on your understanding of the text. Start your answer with the phrase, "I believe." Here is question number 1. How does Bastet's father typically respond to him in the morning? And how does Bastet feel about this? Question number 2. Why does Bastet decide to audition for the role of the monster in the school play? Question number 3. What challenges does Basti face in preparing for the play, and how does he overcome them? Question number 4. Describe Bastet's initial reaction to seeing the monster outside his house at night. How does his perception of the monster change over time? Question number 5. How does Basti's friend react when he tells him about seeing the monster? What does this reveal about Basti's relationship with his friends? Question number 6. How does Basti's father demonstrate his love and support for him throughout the story, especially as regards the school play? Question number 7. Discuss the significance of the monster costume that Basti's father made for him. How does it symbolize their relationship and the theme of love in the story? Question number 8. What lessons does Bastet learn from his experience with the school play and his father's involvement? How does this impact his understanding of family and support? Welcome to day 4. If you are interested in the PowerPoint presentation used in this video lesson, join our growing channel now. Now we are almost done. Take your journal out and let's do this again. Fill out the What I Have Learned journal. Topic that I already know, topic that I just learned, and topic that I will want to learn more. Are you ready for a quiz? Review your notes if you need to. This time we are going to see how much you learned from our lessons. Read the following questions and answer them based on your predictions and conclusions. Question number 1. What if Baste had never decided to audition for the school play? How could his life have been different? Please answer with complete sentence, minding proper capitalization of letters and using punctuation marks appropriately. Question number 2. What if Baste's father had not been able to make the monster costume for him? How might Baste have felt, and how might the story have unfolded differently? Question number 3. What if Baste's father had revealed his efforts to make the monster costume for him earlier in the story? How might this have affected Baste's feelings and motivations leading up to the performance? Question number 4. What if Baste had encountered challenges or obstacles during the actual performance of the play? How might he have responded, and how might this have influenced the audience's perception of his character? Question number 5. What if the school play had not been successful, or if Baste's performance had not been well received by the audience? How might this have impacted Baste's feelings of accomplishment and his relationships with his family and classmates? So much for this week. I hope you are enjoying our lessons. If you want access for my exclusive files, click the join button now and proceed to the membership process if you want to. Exclusive perks await our solid members. Find us on Facebook and TikTok too. Once again, this has been Teacher Jackie saying, discover, learn, have fun only at V Class TV. Until next time, bye!